25 things that you could add to your homeschooling? I don't know about this. Welcome to my channel, Learning with Boys. My name is Rachel. I am a homeschool mom. I do have 4 boys. I have graduated 2. This school year, I have a middle schooler and a high schooler. And I thought it would be fun as we are entering this year of 2025. Can you believe it? That I would try to think of 25 things that would help in the mundane. Maybe it would enhance. Maybe it would help when things just don't seem to be going like they should. I do want to let you know that we are a Christian homeschool family. We do have a Christian worldview. We are pretty much eclectic. I do tend to lean Charlotte Mason style because we do love living books. So I do have homeschool videos, past and present. We are on our 17th year of homeschooling. And if you enjoy this type of content, I would love for you to join us by subscribing. So let's go ahead and get started with 25 things that you could add to your homeschooling. Now, I do want to say right here that this does not include any curriculum. So if that's what you're here for, I hope you'll still stay, but I do want to let you know that. Okay, when I talk about adding 25 things to your homeschool, I don't mean all at one time, and you don't even have to choose all 25. I just want to give you some ideas that may help you in whatever situation you're in, really, as a homeschool mom, really as a parent. So let me talk about number 1, and it is music. Now, I don't use music as much as I did, but it was a long period of time that we listened to music a lot. And maybe it's because the one I needed it the most for has graduated, but it just helped calm the mood. It helped settle things down when everything just seemed array and everybody was out of whack that day. That putting on some music helped. Another thing is outside. Now, you're probably thinking, are these going to be that basic, Rachel? A lot of them are. Sometimes we don't comprehend how helpful they are, especially if you have some that just need to be outside. So I have boys, yes, but I know the same is for girls. I always have moms that talk about, I don't know why everybody just seems so restless. And I say, have they been outside recently? And a lot of times the answer is, well, it's been a few days. So that is my thought process. I remember when even my oldest was only 15 months old, that we moved to this state of Tennessee, and I just knew it was November, but I knew that we needed to be outside every day. And we had a little spot near us. It wasn't the road. It was like a back hill to this place. We were actually just renting when we first moved here, but every day, and I was expecting and did not feel good. But I knew how important it was to both of us. Just something about being outside and getting some fresh air, especially if you do have younger ones. It helps them wear down a little bit, take a good nap for you. And it also helps the older ones just feel like they accomplished something by going outside and they're ready to settle down for their work. Okay, number 3 is, and like I said, these are things that you have heard before, but I want to give you thoughts on them as a homeschool mom. And that would be purge and declutter. Now, I know as a homeschool mom, especially when my boys were younger, I had one of those tall plastic containers with the drawers. And that was like I don't want to say our art supplies, but if you needed paper, if you needed scissors, if you needed glue, it held all those things. So I'm not talking about getting rid of useful things, but maybe there is that box of toys that you have moved several times because you don't know what to do with it, but you don't want to get rid of it. Maybe you need to think about why. Maybe every time you open that drawer, what you're looking for is in there, but you don't even want to try. So that is what I mean by just decluttering and purging, making things more accessible, knowing exactly what do you use every day, what is most important to you, and focus on keeping those things and maybe decluttering some of the extras. Saying that, I want to tell you about number 4, which is simplify. And that can probably fall either way, because once you purge and declutter some, you do simplify. You don't have the extra that you have not used in the last 2 years. It also means don't purchase things and hope that you're going to do that project. Especially when you are homeschooling, you have lots of ideas. I know as a mom, I have a lot of ideas, But I need to really think, is that something that I will be able to do? Will I be able to accomplish that? Can I wait to buy it when I know I'm going to be doing it? So just simplify even when you're shopping. So you can even simplify when you are actually wanting to purchase more things. Number 5 is being flexible. And I've talked about that in my homeschool videos, but I do know that, you have a plan, you have a schedule, and then boom, circumstances come in that throw all that off. I want you to think about who is watching you when these things arise, when circumstances, sometimes they can be good circumstances, and you need to know that it's okay to drop everything and go do the fun thing. Sometimes they're hard circumstances, and you are going to have to drop everything, and you're going to have to express that in a loving and kind way with your children. So be flexible. Okay, another thing is to set some goals. Yes, and I'm talking about some just like goals like you want your kid to reach this milestone within a certain time. Goals such as I'd love to have dinner made by tonight. And the way to reach those goals is to be realistic. Be realistic with your time and the energy that you're already putting into your day. You may have to think of a goal that you would like to reach, and it may be set off just a little bit further down the road. In that, remember the why. Why did you start homeschooling? I know for us and many of you probably wrote down a reason. Maybe you have it somewhere like in a homeschool notebook of why you are homeschooling and the purpose that you're homeschooling and the goals you have for homeschooling. Sometimes it might be good to put that out as a reminder. Maybe there's a scripture verse that you want to claim for that year or you have used for your homeschooling over the years. Make that visible because sometimes that helps us to remember the why. And that leads me to thinking about standing fast. If you remember the why, this will be much easier to do, to stand fast in the decision that you made, to homeschool, in the decision that you made, maybe certain decisions you made with your children that you have convictions or standards about. So stand fast. Now, okay, if this video has been encouraging or helpful so far, would you give it a thumbs up? That would encourage me. Okay, let's go to number 9, and that would be scripture memory. And that is something that's always been a part of our homeschool. And I know it's so hard to take the time and to discipline yourself in getting it done. A couple things that have helped us is having it always visual, not just something that is in our pile of books, but something that might be posted in their room, posted on the refrigerator, a constant reminder that we need to go over this verse. Sometimes our mornings could be a little bit more of a hustle, and it may not be something I grab. So I want to make sure that it is always visual for us to see. Okay, number 10 is planning and scheduling. And I know you're thinking, Rachel, we're homeschool moms. Of course we work on that. But I want to encourage you that our Heavenly Father is a God of order. And I know sometimes as humans, there's going to be circumstances and things that happen that will cause disorder to that. So if we have a secure plan, it helps us get back on track. And also in the scheduling, to make that visual, not just for yourself, but for your kids. And I know a lot of you do that, but I just want to put that out as a reminder or a thought, because I know for my kids, it really helps the momentum of, I don't have to think about what they're doing next. I can have them look and see what it is and tell me. And it really helps that growth in independence. Okay, another thing that a lot of times is one of those things that just spills out of my basket, and that is meal planning. It is something I need to get back to. And it is important not just to meal plan, but to prep. That has really helped me. And I'm not one who can do the freezer meals. I have tried, but for us, just getting the meal plan and then maybe taking the meat or some of the main dishes and prepping them. I might cook up all the meat for the week or shred the cheese, different things like that. Just have the vegetables cut up, different things that could be prepped so when it comes time to it, I can easily throw the meal together. So that is what I mean by meal planning, and really your kids can help you with that. Okay, number 12 is to read. And I don't mean just read alouds when I'm saying this. Yes, we are a read aloud family, and I really do encourage that. But a lot of times in our homeschool journey, there were periods of time where we just needed a quiet time. And usually it was after lunch or even before lunch as I was cooking that the boys would either find a book to read or they would listen to an audio. And sometimes if it wasn't a time where I was working on something, I would have a chance to just sit down and read myself. So you can schedule that in anywhere you want, but I just really encourage you. I think it helps your kids want to find something they're interested in looking at. A lot of times we would get books at the library, especially when they were younger, to look through, and where I would have for the younger kids a bottom shelf that they could pick from at home for that quiet time. So just want to encourage you that, like I said, it's something that we have done and it's been an on and off thing. So, okay, number 13 is going to be activities. And I don't mean like a sport or like karate or something like that. I'm talking about meeting up at the park with some friends, like that type of activity. Maybe doing something like a craft day and maybe coming together and working on some of experiments if they're older children. Just some type of activity, even if it's just once a month. Now, there's been times where we have had the opportunity to do more of that than this season of our life, but I do know not just for the kids, but for the parents, it's very encouraging. Saying that, I want to say number 14 is host. Hosting something. Maybe you want to take a turn and host the activity. I know when my boys were younger, I did a lot more of that. We would have even like fall activities at our house, times where we just had friends over. And it doesn't always have to be when both parents are home. It could just be a homeschool thing that you're hosting. It could be maybe a meet and greet the whole family, and you could host something for that. So just encourage you, maybe this isn't the season, but it's something you may want to add that you would like to do in the future. Okay, number 15, I feel like is sort of easy for homeschool moms to do, but that is to learn something new. I know as my boys have gotten older, I have learned so much that I never thought I would need to learn or want to learn because of their interest. So be willing. I think it really helps the relationship with your children if they know that you're really interested and you're making an effort to learn with them. Number 16 would be to educate yourself. Maybe there is a specific subject, or maybe there is a specific thing that you're really interested in as the mom, and maybe it has nothing to do with homeschool. I know there's a lot of different ways and sites that you can take classes now. I know when early on in my homeschooling journey, I actually took a class outside of the house that I learned a specific way to teach my kids how to read through a certain program. And that was very helpful. And I've done some other things here and there. If you have a passion or something that would help you, maybe even that passion might rub off on some of your children and you could all learn together and take a class. Okay, I was editing this video and realized I did not get in 17. So here I am, a different day to share 17 with you. But if you are still here with me, I would love for you to comment below if any of these are something that you have not been using but are encouraged and want to get back to or try. So number 17 would be to work on independence. Now, I know this is like I feel like it's a little bit broad, but I do have a video and I will link that below. But I do want to just encourage you that even in the young years, you could start little by picking a subject that you know that you're comfortable with and teaching, especially, they're comfortable with. And maybe you could just start with, if you can do a few of these by yourself, bring it to me and we'll look at it. And really that's where it starts, getting them to feel comfortable enough to just do some work on their own. And then adding in different things as they get into upper elementary, middle school, so they're ready for high school. So just adding in some independence. And it's going to look different for each student because I feel like you want to pick a subject that they're comfortable with to do that with. Like I had one, my oldest loved math. I didn't really even have to check on him. He could just do it on his own. Now, I have a couple that probably would have done better with grammar or even some writing. So it's going to be different. So be attentive to what each child would do best with as you are trying to build independence. So that was number 17. So number 18, and I know we all do this, but maybe making an effort to be specific about it, and that would be family time. Maybe it's just a Friday night time. Maybe it's a once a month activity that you're going to pick that you can do locally. Maybe you're going to go out to dinner and go bowling or something like that. But something that you do as a family. You could do movie nights, you could do a bonfire, just something that would be, even if it's just once a month, it doesn't have to be every week. I know it's harder as the kids get older to do that. So number 19 is field trip. And I know there's been seasons where we didn't really do that much. And then there's been other years where I felt like we were always on a field trip. So you need to decide if that's something that your family can handle right now. Maybe it's only once a semester. Maybe it's once a month. I do think it really benefits not just the kids, but the parents to be in that group setting and have some fellowship with other homeschool families. So, all right, number 20 is to journal with your kids. Now, we've done this different ways over the years, and we haven't done it a lot. I wish we would have done it more. But I remember one time they journaled through our week of vacation. Every day they would either write or draw something. And it was so fun to see the different views of how the day went. And we've done it through other things also when they were younger, more so. But I wish I would have done that more. So I do want to mention that. Number 21 is life skills. And I know as homeschool families, I mean, that's just part of it, is that we get the opportunity to not just teach them the academics, but teach them the life skills throughout the day, whether it be just cleaning, doing laundry, organizing, cleaning the bathrooms, things like that. They're also, as they get older, they can learn about different things outside. Maybe they can work on building something with daddy. And we've had boys who've helped redo bathrooms before. We've had, my husband shows them how to change oils and take care of the cars, do different things with that end of it. But I also want to talk about soft skills, because those are all hard skills, like physical things that you do. But soft skills would be your mannerism, teaching them how to maybe respond to a text from either a boss or maybe someone that's in authority. I know from my boys, it's holding the door for the lady. My youngest is always grabbing the door for me when we're going somewhere. And I'm very thankful for that, and just teaching them manners and how to be kind and treat others and be respectful, and not just of authority, but be respectful to each other. So 22 would be to take more pictures. And I say that and I laugh, because that might just be my personal thing, because I feel like everybody takes a lot of pictures now because they get posted all the time, videos, pictures. But I look back and think I wish I would have taken more. I wish I would have taken more as a family, or my husband and I with the kids individually, things like that. But at the same time, and this would be 23, is you want to enjoy the moments. So sometimes that can be a distraction, because you can't really sit and enjoy the moments. If you're thinking about snapping a picture or doing the post, I am grateful there was a period of time that I did not have social media when my kids were younger. And we have so many sweet memories. Now, we did have a camera. It wasn't on our phone. We actually had a real camera. And so we do have pictures from those. We probably took more pictures with the camera than we do now, because I don't know, we feel guilty for pulling out your phone and taking pictures, I guess. This is probably all me. Let me know if you struggle one way or the other, like take too many pictures or you don't take enough. And number 24 would be to use encouraging words. I know it's hard when it's just been a rough day and maybe things were going well and then they got a little chaotic. Could be because of the kids. It could be because of some circumstances. And we just need to learn to respond to whether it's a situation with our child and just use encouraging words to help them through that. Or if it's a circumstance that our family's going through, to use encouraging words to help them through it. Because how they're going to handle situations as they get older is going to reflect how we were handling situations, which is hard to admit sometimes when I see them. I think just trying to be encouraging and using encouraging words would be a positive thing to do. And the last thing is, I'm going to say, focus on what the Lord has for your family. And that's very hard because I had something to don't do, but in this video, it's 25 things to do that would help your homeschool. So I want to say, focus on what the Lord has on for your family, but the reverse of that would be not to focus on others, not to compare yourself. So in the process of keeping your eyes on the Lord and his plan for your family, you're really going to have to not do the comparison game. And sometimes that can be hard. I know in my early years, that was sort of a struggle because I didn't know what I was doing and I needed some help and guidance. But at the same time, I needed to be praying and asking the Lord, okay, I want your direction in this. I do need help and guidance, but I wanted his direction. So just stay focused on what he has for your family. So I hope these 25 things were helpful and encouraging. And if you are new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe by joining us. I do love doing homeschool content, past and present, like I said earlier. I do appreciate you watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. We will talk to you again soon.